Okay, welcome. Stock management. I'd say, apart from having enough money, stock management is the number 2 item that kills e-commerce. So, let's picture it. You've got your website, you're ready to go, you're putting in your first order with your supplier. Now, most suppliers will say you've got to take everything. You've got to take all the SKUs, at least in a quantity of 1. Some will let you cherry pick your best lines. Now, this is where your acumen, your business acumen comes in. Do you stock the same number? Let's say a pushchair comes in 5 colors. Do you stock 5 of every color? Do you stock 5 of one color? Do you stock 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 of your opinioned best colors? Best thing to do is ask the brand, what are the best sellers? Now, be very careful because the brand wants to sell and they probably won't be truthful with you. They'll tell you the most popular is the one that they can't sell because they're hoping to shift it to you. So take what they say as with a pinch of salt, unless they can actually provide sales numbers, which they won't do, but you never know. Sometimes salespeople let slip. So this is what kills you. Day 1, you order, let's say that's a block of stock. Let's say it's $10,000 worth or pounds worth of stock. Now, hopefully you'll get some sales. And let's say you sell 80% of your stock. This is dead stock. This is the margin you make. Now, from a warehouse perspective, this isn't earning you any money. It's costing you money because that space is now taken up with stock you can't sell. And don't think, I'll be able to clear everything. No, you won't. You'll have dead stock. And let's hope it's not perishable, because if it's perishable, this is a write-off. And that write-off is greater than your margin. So you need to consider this. So let's say it's a non-perishable item and it can remain in stock. You must focus when you get later on down this cycle of stock to clear your dead stock. We've seen many companies go dead because of their dead stock. So anyway, you sell this in your first rotation of stock, you make that much margin, you buy again, and again you'll get another amount of dead stock of the next lot you take, and so on and so on. And eventually your warehouse shrinks because you have all this dead stock that isn't selling and not enough margin to offset the dead stock you need to write off. So what we did to you've always got to be attacking your dead stock because the good stock takes care of itself. When you reorder, let's start from scratch. You make your best guess of your best sellers. Now we, on pushchairs, for example, we'd buy literally one unit of each color because you want your website to look like, you want to look like you have stock. You also need to have stock because if you're doing next day delivery, you can't say in stock but then have to order it because you won't be able to fulfill your next day obligations. And you have to be able to deliver next day, if not same day. So you take one of everything, maybe 2 of the black or 2 of the grey because they will be the most popular colours, and 1 of the other colours. We would then, let's say delivery time into you from your supplier is 2 weeks. We would want to hold 3 weeks worth of stock because you always need to maintain that buffer from placing your order to the stock coming in to your rate of sale. It's a simple maths equation. How many have I sold in the last month? Here's my delivery time. Here's my order. This is how many I need to remain in stock. You do not want to go out of stock. Main reason is, and we found this a really bizarre customer problem. You have 20 pushchairs and let's say, so they're all selling and you run out to 0. let's say you sell 4 a day. Now, when you get back in another 20, let's say a week later, you would not sell, this is every single time for over a decade, you would not sell at the same rate as soon as they were back in stock. Neither would you sell the days where you had not had any in stock. Neither would you sell all of those days when that stock came back in. The sales would start from 0 and creep back up slowly and gradually to that rate of sale you had before. So you must remain in stock, because if you do, let's say you sell 3 a day, you'll continue to sell 3 a day. It's a really strange phenomenon that we can never grasp why. So make sure you build in that buffer to remain in stock at your rate of sale, especially at the top lines that you're selling. Is so crucial, because they are your bread and butter. A tiny percentage of what you order in will be the bulk of your profit, margin and business. Pareto principle, I'm sure you've heard of the Pareto principle. If you haven't, look it up. It's self-explanatory. So our key was remaining in stock of our best-selling lines and even our non-best-selling lines. If we sold one over the 2-week period that we were surveying, we would only order one to replace it. Sometimes 2, but generally 1. If it didn't sell, we just sit there with 1 in stock. When you realize you have aged stock, so let's say this is a monthly cycle, month 1, 2, 3, 4. By the time we get to month 4, stuff we ordered 4 months ago, the cardboard boxes get tired, they get a little dusty, the product is becoming aged. You don't want a box sat in a warehouse for long. You need to start dropping these prices. These products need to be dropped in price to clear. And if you choose to reorder them, must only be 1. So you have to remember that if you've dropped the price, it's now not a popular item. It's a product you've discounted with less margin, and you really only want to replace it with 1. These core items, if they're selling too quickly, you need to put the price up. There's a really delicate balance with pricing. Someone will pay full price. If there's limited supply, the demand is there, you can put your price up to an RRP. It's important. We used to look each day at our sales, and anything that had sold too quickly, we'd put the price up, because we knew we couldn't maintain the stock, and we wanted to slow the rate of sale more than we wanted to get rid of the product, because going out of stock was always a disaster. It was the worst thing we could do on a hot selling product. We would order weekly, because most suppliers in the e-commerce world, a weekly order, especially if you're in a domestic country. If you're ordering from China, you have to do a shipping container. If you're ordering from suppliers within the same country, for us, a weekly order was appropriate. It meant we had the right amount of resource running the software to tell us what to order. And it meant the amount of time we were looking over was appropriate, and that the order quantity was appropriate. Say you only ordered once a month, it'd be too much coming into the warehouse on a single day. Whereas we found a weekly ordering system meant the right amount was coming in. It could go on a van rather than a lorry. It could be put away easily by the warehouse team. There's a real sweet spot to the amount of stock you hold, the rate at which you order it, and the amount at which you order. It's quite a skill, and you need to finesse this, because this will be the death of you. If you've got enough capital, your stock management is your next key item. So once you've got your ordering process down, you're 4 months in, you know you've got some aged stock, you can't help it, it's there. We then ran programs that identified what hadn't sold. It's just a simple CSV download, do some VLOOKUP, some SUMIFs, and then we would run a program that decreased the price of this dead stock to shift it. And that was hopefully keeping that at bay. But as you order more stock, more and more becomes dead stock. So it's crucial, and I'd say after having enough capital, it is the number 2 problem for e-commerce situations. And when we hear these stories about Amazon and that they have these pricing algorithms, secret price, it's no secret. Of course they do. If something's selling too quickly and they're going to run out of stock, they're going to put the price up. Of course they are. And then likewise, they're going to put the price down if they've got too much warehouse space with too much dead stock. I don't know how the media get away with this rubbish, because it's just what has to be done or what's needed to be done. But anyway, it's headline grabbing text. I hope this is helpful. I hope that explains. And as soon as you start this process, you'll see exactly what I mean. That, for example, we had dog beds. I had no idea whether small or all the way up to XXL would sell. So we took one small, one medium, one large, one XL, one XXL, a bit like clothing. And you really have no idea which one's going to sell. So we just took one of each. And then you get the dead stock. So for some reason, everyone buys a big dog bed. So the smalls and mediums didn't sell. And because you got all the different colours and all the different sizes, all the smalls and mediums built up, but all the large and extra larges sold. So same thing, we had to drop the prices of the smalls and mediums, which hit the margin, but we tried to sell enough of the large and extra large to compensate. And then it really was a balancing act to get that ordering right. And this dead stock slowly going out the door. And it is possible to fine tune it. And you need someone skilled that's doing this. You need someone with mathematical brain, with some logic to measure this up. Last point about stock. If we had a product, so we'd only start with one. It sounds crazy. Even when you're selling hundreds and they bring out a new product, we'd go, yeah, we'll take one. And they'd be like, what? Why are you taking one? You sell hundreds of our stuff. It was like, well, we don't know if it's going to sell yet. So we'll start with one. And, it'll quickly become, 100. But at the beginning, one. Sorry, the next point I was going to say was, if a product had a fault, if we experienced a fault, the same fault, 3 times on the same product, we would discontinue the item. And we wouldn't tell the supplier because, what's the point? We would just, we would leave off the ordering system because we don't want to be selling to customers a product that blatantly has a common fault. And 3 was our strike rate. 1, 2, it would then go on a questions. So we had a fault list that customers reported. As soon as it hit 3, product was out. And that was a great way to reduce the dead stock and to improve your customer aftercare, your customer levels, and even just make unavailable products that were bad. I hope that's useful, and that's it.